I'm Camden. Here's my information speech, and here are my audience. So let's get into this. Many sports have begun to take place, especially with social media becoming more of a um, spotlight in sports. And uh, football is often regarded as the most recognizable sport within the U.S. And hockey, basketball, and baseball all have their professional leagues. But when looking through history and through um, research, baseball is America's pastime. So that's kind of what I want to touch on and give y'all more information about that. Susan Koprince, a professor at the University of North Dakota, said in 2005, "The game of baseball has long been regarded as a metaphor for the American dream, an expression of hope, democratic values, and the drive for individual success." Starting out as a street game, baseball began to evolve. It started around the 1600s, and it just evolved from there through people playing in the streets, through organized games. But due to failed record keeping and lost documents, the first archived baseball game was in 1846 between the Knickerbockers and the New York Baseball Club. Baseball began to truly take shape and become an American sport in the early 1900s. 1947 was a big year because that's when segregation was ended within baseball. Prior to this point, you had the Major League Baseball and you had the Negro League Baseball. And what this was a league set aside for African Americans. African Americans were not allowed to play in Major League Baseball, but they were allowed to play in the Negro Leagues. So Jackie Robinson came along and he became the first um, African American baseball player to play in Major League Baseball. This ended segregation throughout baseball, and David J. Liberte, who was an instructor of history at St. Cloud University, said, "Here, a harbinger of a new, a more perfect era broadened the gates of American baseball." And he's talking about what Jackie Robinson did for the game of baseball. Jackie Robinson himself even said, 1947, the year that baseball becomes the black man's game, too. So, obviously, Robinson helped the game of baseball progress, and it became more of an American sport where it wasn't before. Now everybody is able to play baseball. Over the years, the rules within baseball became more and more confirmed. The rules are very complex within the game of baseball. And when you think about soccer, there's not very many rules. You have to stay in bounds. You can't use your hands unless you're the goalie. And you have to stay on sides at all times. Really, the main goal is just to score the goal. Basketball, you cannot dribble twice. You have to keep it in bounds as well. Um, Score basket. Football has a little bit more complex rules as far as holding penalties and pass interference penalties, but the main objective is to just get the ball in the end zone. Baseball, on the other hand, can be very complex from pitch to pitch, and really any aspect of the game can be very complex. Ben Orlin, who was a mathematics teacher in Oakland, California, states in 2014, one of the rules says, "Strike three, you're out, except if the catcher drops it, then you can run to first. Except if first base is occupied, then you're out all over again. Except if there's already two outs, then the race on to first is back on. No other sport offers a rule book so gerrymandered, so endlessly modified." Basically, what he just talks about there is one rule is so complex that it has to have three or four different except if this happens, then this happens. So no other sport offers such a complex rule book and such a complex way to keep score and keep things organized. Today, many baseball players are recognized as famous people, not just famous baseball players. Um, of course, baseball is known for Babe Ruth. If you know baseball, you know Babe Ruth, the Sultan of SWAT, the Home Run King, or as the 2015 Columbia Electronic Encyclopedia states, Ruth became the second player to be elected into the Hall of Fame in 1936. And now in today's society, even people who are not do not associate themselves with baseball know who um, Miguel Cabrera is, Derek Jeter, some of those famous baseball players. They know them because their names are well known and they're well known baseball players. So they're famous in today's society because of media involvement. Overall, baseball has evolved into an America's game. The rules and the teams and um, everything continues to change over time. But from 1800s until now, baseball has always been and always will be America's pastime. Thank you.